I know this is going to be hard to hear, so please brace yourselves. Y'all are disgusting. I mean, straight up disgusting. And I say that as a person with a fairly cavalier attitude towards personal hygiene. Like, I wash my hair once a week tops. But my hands, I wash my hands all the time. I wash them before I make food, before I eat food, after I eat food, after I take the dog out for a walk, and especially after I use the toilet. Even if there's no running water, I have a bottle of hand sanitizer just in case. At the very least, you should all be washing your hands after you use your bathroom. And if you don't, then I am going to judge you. And also, I'm going to insist that you never touch me or come close to me. Many of you right now are probably thinking, I agree, washing your hands after you use the toilet is very important. In fact, I would say 92% of you think that. But unfortunately, research also shows that 66% of you admit that you wash your hands after you use the toilet. That's right, it's not an observational study, it's just a survey. 34% of people admitted they do not wash their hands after they use the toilet. To make matters worse, 95% of you don't wash your hands properly, meaning for at least 15 seconds. And that one does come from an observational study, which also found that only half of all men even bothered to use soap. Gross. This is a big deal because research shows us that teaching communities proper hand washing technique can reduce the spread of diarrhea by 30%, by 60% in people with compromised immune systems, which is incredibly important. It can also reduce the spread of the common cold and respiratory diseases like that by up to 20%. And if you don't think that that's a big deal, you should also know that diarrhea and pneumonia are the number 1 and number 2 worst killers of children. 2 million children every year are dying from that. So don't worry, I'm not just making a video to shame you into washing your hands after you pee, although I hope I am. I'm also going to tell you about a cool new study that could enable us to trick you disgusting germ factories into washing your hands with science. In a funny twist, the secret might be to make washing your hands slightly more difficult in a way. Bear with me. Psychologists at the University of Colorado, Denver, and the Chinese Academy of Sciences conducted a joint study in which they approached Chinese food factories. That's food factories in China, not factories anywhere that happen to make Chinese food, just to be clear. And they tried to get the employees there to improve how often they were using sanitizer to clean both their hands and their workspaces. Each employee already had a spray bottle full of cleaner in it, but the researchers gave the employees of one factory a second bottle that let them squirt the cleaner, like squeeze bottle the cleaner onto their surfaces. It worked the same way. It was, just as good at cleaning, but it was slightly more inconvenient to use. In another factory, the researchers offered employees the option of soaking their hands, which was way more inconvenient than the spray bottle, but also much more effective. And in a third factory, which was the control group, they just gave the employees a second spray bottle in a different color. Their hypothesis was based on the decoy effect, which is the idea that if someone isn't too thrilled about a thing, you can offer them another option that is worse in order to make the first thing look better. For instance, if you're selling a used car to someone and it's a total lemon, when they ask to see something else, you could then show them a complete junker, just to make them slightly more likely to think that maybe the lemon isn't so bad. Sure enough, in this case, offering the factory workers a less convenient option made them more likely to use the spray sanitizer that they had had access to all along. Prior to the study, 70 to 74% of employees had sufficiently clean hands during hand swab inspections. After the study, that figure rose to 92 to 98% in the two groups that got the less efficient option. In the control group, it stayed exactly the same. The study was such an immediate success that one of the factories let the researchers know that they had implemented the decoy sanitizer throughout their entire factory, which is kind of awesome. The researchers are going to follow up on this by testing the decoy effect in hospitals, where it's incredibly important that healthcare professionals wash their hands to prevent the spread of disease. Yet, surveys show that only 78% of those healthcare professionals are doing that. After that, maybe they can figure out something for public restrooms. Wouldn't that be nice? Many of them already have decoy soap dispensers, but that's in the sense that they look like soap dispensers, but they're broken or out of soap, usually. Not quite the same. But maybe it could be as simple as offering both a liquid soap dispenser and a bar of soap. Though that's not the sort of thing that would probably be done in, say, a dive bar where all the soap dispensers are already broken. But the cool thing about science is I bet there's another way that we can trick people into washing their hands in a dive bar. So get on it, scientists. And wash your hands. It's gross.